Alright, so last night Kendrick Lamar performed at the halftime show in New Orleans at the Super Bowl. SZA also came out to perform as well, and she was looking good per usual. The halftime show was honestly Kendrick Lamar's most anticipated moment in his career, because after being successful in the battle with Drake and having such a great 2024, records being broken, proving the haters wrong, and having pretty much all the eyeballs on him, then for him to perform at the halftime show a couple days after he won 5 Grammys in one night, yeah, he's definitely on cloud 9. And with this being an anticipated moment, there's gonna be a lot of opinions. And some people thought the performance was great, some people thought the performance was terrible, some people thought it was mid. Yeah, everyone had something to say. But in my opinion, I feel like this performance was good. It wasn't the best performance in the world or anything like that, but it was good. Kendrick did what he had to do. He performed Not Like Us, which is arguably the biggest diss record of all time at the Super Bowl. That right there is a win in itself. That's a huge W for hip hop. Even though I did enjoy the halftime show, I do have my criticism on it as well. I do think Kendrick Lamar should have came with a little bit more energy. That's just me. I feel like if he had more energy, it would have been received better, because Kendrick Lamar is not a boring performer whatsoever. He's a really good performer. And I also feel like the set list could have been better as well. There's certain songs I wish he performed, like some songs on Good Kid, Mad City, some other songs on Damn. You know, pretty much his biggest hits essentially. And I'm not saying he shouldn't have performed songs on GNX. Of course he's supposed to. GNX just dropped a couple months ago, and it only makes sense to drop at least something from GNX on the set list. But I just feel like the list could have been better and he could have switched some songs around. But one thing I keep seeing is that people wanted Kendrick to do way more. They wanted him to pretty much crash out on Drake at the halftime show, just going in on Drake. But he did take some jabs at Drake, but it just wasn't enough for a lot of people. They wanted more from Kendrick. But there's only so much you could do at the halftime show. He really had to dumb down his lyrics and kind of change certain things up because, you know, it's obviously not appropriate. So some people were critiquing that. But people were over critiquing it, to be honest. They were overthinking it. But that's kind of what happens when there's such an anticipated moment like this. People are gonna want to see what you're gonna do, especially how crazy and messy Drake and Kendrick's beef was. But for some people to call this the worst halftime show ever, y'all are honestly forcing it. There's one thing you can't call Kendrick, and that's a bad performer. Kendrick performed good, and he even had Serena Williams sea-walking, giving Snoop Dogg a run for his money. But like I said earlier, I just felt like the energy, he could have just added a little bit more energy to it, and a few songs he should have swapped out.
The message was great. Yes. Aesthetically, I gave it a 10, you know what I mean? But I agree with Envy. I thought his set list could have been way better. He could have just picked bigger, high-energy songs than the ones he did. For example, it was an unapologetically ultra-black performance. Imagine if he would have opened up with Black at a Berry.
He opened with like a freestyle that we had never heard before.
Can you imagine if Black at a Berry was the first song on Kendrick's set at the Super Bowl? And then he threw in joints like Aight, Mad Kid, like you said, Envy, Money Trees, Backseat Freestyle, mixed in with TV Off and Humble and Squabble Up. Oh, he would have killed it. And if he was going to do Not Like Us, which I still don't think he should have done because he just gave Drake too much light.
Had to.
I don't think so.
And another thing that I'm seeing from people, I'm seeing people say that the part when the crowd was screaming A minor, some people are saying that wasn't real or they didn't hear the A minor part at all. But trust me, A minor was said. And it was said by everybody in the crowd. And if you still don't believe it, Tyga and Duke Dennis were both at the Super Bowl. And here is the footage of the crowd screaming out A minor.
Here you go. Yo, that's fucked up. That's fucked up.
And thank God the cameras didn't catch this, but someone ended up hopping on the field with a flag that said Sudan and Gaza on it, but was shortly tackled by security guards. I don't know how that situation started and why it got that far, but imagine if that person got up front in front of the camera with Kendrick or even attack him. Like, I don't know who that person was and where they came from. Like, I'm so confused. And for all the ones saying that Lil Wayne should have performed, no, he shouldn't have performed. Yes, he's from New Orleans, and I understand that. But just because he's from New Orleans, it doesn't mean he has to be given the Super Bowl. Kendrick Lamar had a phenomenal 2024 with the biggest rap song of that year. Biggest song, arguably, of course. So why not give it to Kendrick? Some people are saying, oh, they could just give it to Kendrick, the year after. Because I think it's going to be in California, I think the next year or the next year after. But by then, Not Like Us, of course, it's still going to hit, but it's not going to be the same. Why not reward Kendrick Lamar now while he had a phenomenal year prior and Not Like Us is still flaming hot? We're not going to wait next year or the year after. Like, no, they don't grant artists, just because they're from a certain town or city, whatever. They don't just give it to you just because. And Kendrick Lamar is a better performer than Lil Wayne in 2025. Let's be honest. And I love Wayne, but come on, we got to be real now. Because I'm seeing people saying, oh, it should have been Wayne. Wayne has these hits. Like, Wayne can't perform like he used to, respectfully. It's like no one is ever satisfied. You can't satisfy everybody. Like, some people are saying the performance by Kendrick was good. Some people saying it's terrible. Some people saying it's the worst. Some people are saying it's mid. Everyone's going to have their opinions, but come on, enough with this Wayne talk. Let's be real now.
So, a few people have been asking me, like, what did you think of the Kendrick halftime show? And I really loved the show. It was my favorite halftime show since like a Michael Jackson era, which I kind of just barely remember. I just be seeing clips of it. And it was super simple. The flag was fresh when they did Be Humble, the way that people's heads was moving. I was just like shook. This is like super fresh, right?
But if there was one person that I wish performed at the Super Bowl, it would honestly have to be Chris Brown. Easily. He's one person that's never performed at the Super Bowl. And yes, with Jay-Z being in office and making, pulling strings and all that, I don't think that Chris Brown is ever going to perform because the ties that he has with Rihanna, even though Rihanna did forgive him and stuff, but people still hold that against Chris Brown despite him apologizing and trying to prove that he's a better person, and that's the past. But I guess it is what it is. But Chris Brown is one person I know for a fact would not disappoint. Even the people that hate him know that if he was to perform, he would go crazy. So maybe we might see him, because slowly I'm starting to see the mainstream start to show love to Chris Brown. I don't know if you guys are noticing, but slowly they're starting to post him, the stuff that he's doing. They're starting to do that after he won his Grammy, which I didn't think he was going to win, because this man hasn't won a Grammy in like a decade plus. They haven't given this guy a Grammy in so long after dropping so many hits, countless hits. It's insane. Good albums and everything. But, he still won his Grammy, and I'm happy for that. But yeah, who knows? Maybe he might perform at the Grammys. That's a possibility, maybe. Or maybe that's just me reaching. I don't know. And with Kendrick Lamar's halftime performance being in the books, now that it's all done and everything like that, what's next for Kendrick Lamar? Well, he has his tour with SZA that's coming up soon. I believe he has a GNX Deluxe that he's about to drop, or he's going to drop another project as well. So the Super Bowl isn't the last time we're going to see Kendrick. Kendrick is going to be very active, very out there. You're going to hear some music. You're going to see him with SZA and all that. So that's coming for sure. And with the Super Bowl being over, we can all say that Kendrick Lamar got the W against Drake, and K-Dot can finally move on to the next chapter of his career. But of course, we're still going to hear Not Like Us, because it's still going crazy. And after the Super Bowl, usually albums and singles usually go up on the charts. So yeah, Not Like Us isn't going anywhere anytime soon, but Kendrick Lamar is definitely heading towards his new chapter in his career. And that's continuing to push GNX, going on tour, and creating more moments. But yeah, I'm excited for what Kendrick has in store. Kendrick did it, man. He finally did it. I'm happy for him. I'm happy for DJ Mustard especially. You gotta shout out him. What a crazy run he had. But yeah, those were just my thoughts on Kendrick Lamar's halftime Super Bowl performance. So let me know your thoughts. If you got to the end of this video, thank you so much. Hit that subscribe button if you're new and enjoy videos like this. Give this video a thumbs up. It would help me out a lot. Comment down below anything Kendrick related about the Super Bowl, Not Like Us, anything like that. And with all that being said, thank you so much for watching, guys. I'm out.